this extreme modesty for women. They believe that women, in some cases, now this does not apply everywhere, but in some cases women even have to cover their faces. That women have to cover up their hands, they wear gloves and wear dresses that don't show any part of their legs or show any part of their arms. This is not done everywhere again, and again, when Muslim women come to a Western country and see the way Western women dress, they're oftentimes enticed to, hey, maybe I can dress like that, or maybe I'd look better if I dress like that. I mean, I heard a story one time, a Muslim man who came to a Christian church said, well, how do you worship? I mean, all these women, they're just beautiful. How do you concentrate on worshiping your God? I mean, he says, I know what he was thinking, because he was used to the men and women worship in separate rooms. He said, aren't those women a big distraction to you as you worship? Well, I mean, we are used to it, I guess. But they believe in extreme modesty. And again, each of you can decide for yourself what you believe about it. Sharia law, I must mention that. Now again, all right, Sharia law, which I must mention. Again, if any of you want to disagree with this, your comments are welcome. But Sharia law calls for stoning women who commit adultery, cutting off the hand of a person who steals. And I want to say this about Muammar Gaddafi had that on his laws. That he would cut off the hand of anyone who stole. Here was the catch-22. He never cut off a hand. Nobody stole. Yeah, I mean, I don't advocate that. At one time, hey, maybe this is a guy, but I don't advocate that. But he never cut off a hand because nobody stole. It calls for the execution of homosexuals, adulterers, persons who convert from Islam to another religion, and most people who disagree with the norm. In other words, if you make statements that are contrary to the norm, you will be killed. You are not allowed to show a picture of Muhammad or any of his members of his family. So Muhammad is never depicted in our work, or in any of his wives, or any other member of his family. So we do not know what Muhammad looked like. No idea. Of course, for that matter, we don't know what Jesus looked like, really. The artists who draw pictures of him are guessing. We don't know. Now,
what about the Shroud of Turin?
That has been proven by radiocarbon dating to have originated in the 1200s, and the image on the shroud is not the image of Jesus, but the image of the Knights Templar president. If any of you have heard of that, anyway, that's my take on it. But it dates to the 1200s and not to the time of Christ. But then again, it has pollen grains on it that come from the Middle East, but these Templars originated in the Middle East. Also, something else about the shroud. The text of the New Testament makes it clear that there was a separate headpiece, which does not allow for a shroud. Yes?
You said that we don't really have a description of Jesus or a picture, but in the Bible, doesn't it say what he looked like?
It doesn't. Not really.
Yes, it does.
It just says there's no feet. He was not good looking, and there was nothing about him to make him his desire. But he had a beard.
So you're saying Jesus,
but we don't know what. Okay, whatever. All right.
Hair of wool or something like that?
Yeah, that's what it said. Hair was skin of
Actually.
bronze.
Well, he was Jewish.
He was black-headed, no doubt. He had a black beard. Again,
He grew his
I were Jew, all Jews, probably olive-colored. Now,
He is. That's what the Bible
something
says.
that your book does not mention, but you're going to hear about, so I think I ought to mention it. They've had 12 imams. The imams were 12 rulers who ruled in succession, one after another. If you look at the person, each one of them, the first 11, not 12, added something to Islamic tradition. Now, this is not in the book. Imam. All right, the 12 imams. Now, here's what the story about the 12th one. By the way, all the first 11 died unnaturally. They were either poisoned by their wives or killed by the caliph at the time. But now number 12, now he's the enigma. He was the boy imam. And one day he just upped and vanished. There's even questions whether he even existed, but now the latest is they say we have no doubts he existed. but he's up and vanished. He is the one who is going to return, and the Islamic people want to get things ready for. They feel like when we've united all Muslims under one rule and got them all Muslims believing alike, then this 12th Imam will return and he will take over the world. Okay, you have it.
No, I was going to add something. The 12th thing is,
What's
it is what we believe in. It is a part.
Yeah.
Also, I think you know that we do believe in Jesus.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
As a prophet.
Yes.
And we do believe that he will come back too. As,
Okay.
To protect
Okay.
like the living.
I've heard that too.
Yes.
Well, according to what Muslims believe, is that God gave to Moses some of the revelation, then gave to Jesus some more, and ultimately, though, Muhammad got the last of it, got the rest. What was not given to Moses, what was not given to Jesus, was given to Muhammad. Anyway, the 12th Imam is going to return someday when the Islamic world has gotten things ready for him. All right. Now, yes.
Is it true that Muslims believe that it's allowed to kill non-believers? Because it's really
Listen, now we had a discussion about that last class. I looked it up between classes. You have two views on that. It's subject, like the Bible, subject to interpretation. If you look up in any Muslim website, there's 9 places where literally it looks like Muhammad says kill or make war. At least one place where it says make war. But again, if you look up what the Muslims say about that, they explain it away to where it doesn't mean what the text makes it appear to say. Is I clear on that point? But I mean, there is a passage in the Quran, and I quote it as best I can: "Kill the unbeliever." Yeah, but see, here's what they said. Oh, they don't consider Jews and Christians to be unbelievers. They only mean kill the idolater. That's, in other words, the idolater. Even though personally, I don't believe in killing the idolater. But nevertheless, again, I've got it on my computer now. It's looked up chapter and verse where it's found in the Quran. But I also, every website I went to except for one, they explained all these passages away. That it doesn't mean what it appears to mean at first. Yes.
It has different ways.
So, if God is creation of man and man created God, which one do you think came first?
All right.
You said if God can create the I'm sorry, run it back.
I'm sorry. Listen.
Run that back, Turbo.
Who said man created
No, yeah.
Who said man created God, G?
Okay, all of you know what my take is on that. I think
You said come on, excuse me.
You all know what.
You said God created man and man created God.
I'm confused.
Yeah, okay, well.
How did man create God when God
the
is the
story of God.
Oh.
But how did the story?
Okay, listen. Okay, listen.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Let's leave it. Let's leave that.
They really don't want to jam.
Let's leave that. All right.
Yeah.
You all know what I think. So, all right. Now, all right. Yes.
Mr. Cunningham, one thing I would point out is that
Okay.
in the textbook, it said when the Quran was written, they didn't use diacritical marks. And in the Arabic writing, diacritical marks on certain words can change their meaning. So that sometimes may lead to an interpretation of this when, if it had diacritical marks, it could be read a different way.
I'm glad you brought that up. You know, it's like a lot of the laws in our law books. It's called legal double talk, where the law can be interpreted this way if you want to, or interpreted that way. And one of the things the Confederate states tried to do when they made the Constitution was say that all laws had to be written in plain language, in language only where every law had only one meaning and going to be interpreted one way. And the Confederacy, of course, lost. But they tried to make laws. But again, I'm glad for that input. Everything is subject to interpretation and whim, as much as we'd like to say it is, and this includes Christian scriptures. I mean, you can get 10 Christians together and get at least 11 different opinions. on the same topic, and sometimes maybe more than that, as some people have a divided mind. All right, now, next time we'll take up more about the practical results of Islam. And anyway,